Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel Trading Secrets. This channel is for entertainment purposes only. For those of you who do not know, my name is Ali. I have over 20 years experience teaching accounting, economics, business and law. Through this channel I'll be providing some stock analysis and a quick update on the $1 Million Challenge. So if anybody's not aware of this is a journey of investment of $1,000 to a return of $1 million over a period of 3 years using a strategic or compound return investing. So the objective is to try to get 201 trades, each with an average return of 3.5%. It's not 201 consecutive trades, we do take into account losses. So for further details about how to join us for less than $9 a month, information is available in the description below. In today's video I'm going to be sharing with you some details that we had in terms of discussions with Erin Arvedlund. This was a meeting held on Monday with myself, John Berder and one of my Discord members, so stay tuned for that. And just to inform you, Erin Arvedlund was recently featured on the Madoff docuseries on Netflix, so she is a very important journalist. So details to follow shortly. So before we look at that, let's have a quick look at what's happening in the market. So there's a headline here from, first of all, the Wall Street Journal, and we can see here dated January the 17th 2023, why biotech is poised for a recovery this year. We know in 2022 biotech stocks on the whole, especially the penny stock biotechs, certainly took a huge hit, and we can see here pharma and biotech stocks moved in the opposite directions last year, but fortunes are now shifting. So certainly that is something that we need. So let's just finish off here by having a look at the heat map. We can see it is a little bit mixed today. Great day for Tesla, good day for Apple, good day for Microsoft. Communications a little bit down, Amazon was down, but overall a fairly mixed day. But I think over the previous 2 days it has been a little bit more positive. So before we look at the discussions with Erin, let's start by having a look at the key developments with regard to Charles Payne. So shout out to Charles and what he stated earlier. He stated that he was going to mull things over. So great response here from Charles. He has mulled things over, and let's have a look at one of his tweets. And he seems to be stating here, and he shared an image with regard to naked short battle plan top 10 winning strategies. So that's a very positive tweet there, also stating that CEOs are fighting back. And what Charles Payne has now said in response to Roger Hamilton is the war on naked shorts and how to fight back on making money with Charles Payne's. Please tune in and let your friends know. So very positive response here from Charles. So he seems to be on board. So we will stay tuned, hopefully, for an update on this. So let's have a quick response from John Berder. Again, very positive tweet, and what he's saying in response to Charles Payne, Roger Hamilton as well, is that the momentum is starting and this type of exposure helps all of us. Thank you, Charles, for standing up. So again, thank you from everyone else, especially in the MMTLP community, Charles. We do need you on board, and thank you for standing up. So let's now make a start on the key discussions that we had with Erin Arvedlund. So I'm going to share with you here a tweet I posted earlier today. So this is just a special thanks to Erin Arvedlund, who was also, just to give you some background, was instrumental in exposing Madoff in the Netflix docuseries. And this was initially in a Barron's article 2001. So if you have seen the series, you will know who I'm talking about. So we did have a great exploratory discussion covering MMTLP. So Erin is now aware of the basic fundamentals of our story, and further updates and information will be shared in the future shortly. So we are going to have a follow-up meeting. But the other thing I'd like to do is thank the over 100 MMTLP investors for their personal stories. These have now been passed on to Erin, and Erin is also aware of some of the key issues. So I'm going to share with you those key issues shortly as well, and I will be sharing some of the key stories in some upcoming videos as well, so stay tuned for that. And finally here, shout out to Syntax, who's responded to the tweet saying please keep us informed. Yet certainly we'll keep you informed on the stories, but just from my point of view, after reading everybody's stories, one thing I would like to say is they were amazing, very touching, heartbreaking, emotional, sad, but what I think I would now like to do together with everybody is fight as hard and strong as we can for a happy ending for everyone, and we hopefully can fight together as a family and as a team to achieve this. What I'm going to do is share with you the agenda and some of the key topics of discussion that we had with Erin Arvedlund. So in this discussion we had John Berder present as well, so special thanks to John for attending, and also special thanks for Camwell35, one of the Discord members, for reaching out to Erin and being the lead in this meeting. So it was a very positive meeting. So in terms of the key topics covered, in terms of updating Erin on MMTLP and our story, so we started with the history, we talked about Torchlight Energy, the origins of obviously of the play. Then we moved on to look at the creation of MMTLP. I also talked about the two alleged market makers, and I did also focus on Ari Rubenstein in terms of a person of interest. We talked about S1, we talked about corporate notaries, we talked about FINRA and obviously the role of the SEC. Then we proceeded to look at the U3 halt, and obviously the other key concerns that we shared with Erin included synthetics, naked shorting, shorts not covering, broker issues, amongst many other things as well. Then obviously we looked at investor stories, and Camwell35 also shared his story. I shared mine as well, and all your stories, which we had all in excess of 100, were also sent to Erin, so I'm sure she will be reading through them herself now. We also obviously responded by talking about the current campaign that everybody's participating in, the actions, the very, very strong MMTLP community. We also mentioned that obviously there are space discussions now taking place on Twitter, and the community is strong, united, together, but unfortunately I think today that may not necessarily be the case. I am hearing rumours of a little bit of disunity, but hopefully that is resolved very, very quickly, because as far as I'm concerned, the MMTLP needs to be united. And finally, I'd like to finish off by giving a quick shout out to our weekly watch list. So on the screen here, you'll see a quick review of last week's weekly watch list. We called out stocks such as CDTX. Last week that was up in excess of 53%. MGAM, we also called out in excess of 16%. AEHR, that was also up in excess of 24.3%. There were a few losses, but on the whole, we had some great calls. And we also called out this week for the weekly watch list, we called out Mara, that was up 9%. GNS, that was up in excess of 25%. BBIG, we also had on our watch list, up 18%. TRKA, that was up 13%. We called it SPRC, that was up 7% today. CUNA, that was up 4%, and APPN 5%. Not all calls are successful, but so far we've been doing very well. If you like to get the daily stock alerts as well as the weekly watch list, you can join us in our Discord for less than $9 a month. Information is available in the description below. Thank you very much for watching. Please stay tuned.